So Pennsylvania is now home to a 100% nuclear powered Bitcoin mining facility. Man, it's going to be hard to compete with some of these guys, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bitcoin has forever been under scrutiny for its proof of work consensus. The Bitcoin mining process was considered to be an energy consuming process, which was debated as being harmful to the environment. We all know this at this point. It was also said to have a negative impact on energy resources. Even though several Bitcoin mining firms have turned to various renewable sources of energy, like hydropower and solar, the mining industry is still looked down upon. Now, according to details from the recent press release, TeraWulf announces the launch of a 100% nuclear-powered Bitcoin mining facility in the U.S. Owner and operator of domestic Bitcoin mining facilities powered by 91% zero-carbon energy, TeraWulf, has recently announced the energization of the Nautilus facility. This facility is now fully operating on 100% nuclear energy with a hash rate capacity of 1 exahash a second. The mining firm is sourcing energy from 2.5 gigawatt Susquehanna. I don't know how to pronounce that. Susquehanna? I don't know where that is. Nuclear generation station in Pennsylvania. Say it.
Oh, I don't know. I can't even say it. Susquehanna.
I'm glad I'm not the only one, but I do wish.
Yeah.
I had to Google that later. Anyways,
yeah,
that's in Pennsylvania.
Gotta be an Indian name, like a Native American tribal area, something.
It has over 8,000 miners on board here. So it's funny how we go from, Bitcoin mining bad for the environment, and then we have proof as Bitcoin mining enthusiasts that in fact the Bitcoin mining industry is powered by more renewables than any other industry percentage base, right? And we have proof that they are moving towards that direction. So it's such a weird gaslighting from the federal government on this topic, right? It's like, oh, it's so bad for the environment, but it's like, it seems to be the only thing that's pushing towards more renewables.
Yeah. And naturally goes that way because that's where the cheapest electric is. So it's like,
and increases the funding. You wouldn't be able to do this unless there was a way to monetize it. That's the thing. It means that there is more economic benefit to energy companies moving to renewables. You can do it faster because you have this new thing that allows you to generate revenue to move into renewables quicker. Yeah. You couldn't move into renewables as quickly without cryptocurrency.
Yeah, without the money. Yeah, because if there's no money in it, it could be slow development. Now that there's money in it, it's coming in. Yeah.
Because the markets will always win. That's the thing. Everybody anytime we talk about this, I always think about The Wealth of Nations by Adam Smith. You ever read that book?
I haven't.
Okay. That's a good one.
I'll have to add it to my list.
But it goes over demand and each individual country's demand and the supply of resources and even if you have the most communist country in the nation in the world, it's still going to be beholden to the market driving forces internationally, right? Yeah. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. You're going to you're either gonna try to ignore it and fail and collapse, or you're gonna adopt it and move forward, right? Yeah. Today's sponsor is BT Miners. BT Miners has been a longtime sponsor of the channel and a proven reliable source for ASIC miners. If you're looking to purchase ASIC hardware from Bitcoin to Dogecoin miners, they are available for purchase on bt-miners.com. BT Miners is a trusted source by both ASICminervalue.com and CryptoMiner.com. Follow the affiliate link in the description and tell them SOT sent you to support the channel. So when will GPU prices drop, Django? What do you think?
I don't know. I feel like that if they would have dropped, they would have already dropped. I think we're pretty much at the bottom, unless Nvidia decides to drop their prices on the new 40 series cards. or something changes. But I don't think anything's gonna change. I don't know. Do you think there's a lot of people out there that have their farms off and they're just holding cards?
I do think that is the case. I think
And
this
so
time
yeah. Go
there's
ahead.
no incentive to sell your GPUs unless you don't unless you're like completely out of money, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen the collapse already of the ASIC market,
Yeah.
right? And the ASIC market, I was just going over the data for my crypto mining course. You can check it out on sonofatech.com. Shameless self-promotion there. Because I go through all this data. But we just saw the Bitcoin, we just saw the ASIC miners drop by 10x. GPUs have only dropped by about 3x, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we were to expect GPUs to come down, we would have expected it when the ASIC miners drop 10x, right? And that's just not happening.
Well, I think there's still, well, and the thing is there's other uses for GPUs, so they won't ever drop as much. And they drop over time as new technology comes out, because people still use them for gaming, and they have a lot of other uses. So I don't think they would drop that much until the new generation comes out. And I don't think that the 40 series is like so much better that people are running out and upgrading it.
Well, it's extremely expensive for not that much of a boost over a 3090.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can get 3090s now for like 800, 700.
Yeah,
so it's like, well, a $2,000 4090, right? Where I also have to basically go upgrade my power supply and all of that, right? So like it's really like it is like a $2,000 to $2,500 upgrade at the end of the day for a gaming PC. If you want to mine on it, like good friggin' luck. Like, I mean, it seems cool until you are running it on Flux with a non-ATX 3.0 compliant power supply, and Flux decides to spike that shit and blow your card and the whole rig. Because that's what's going to happen, right? Like we saw that with like the 30 series, like the 3090s and stuff on Flux, where it was like blowing stuff up. And that was like not even requiring a new standard. So I don't think the longevity of 4090s in a mining farm makes sense right now. The ones that have been impressive have been the 7000 series on AMD, but there's still a lot of work that needs to be done from the miner perspective on them. But the 7900 XT right now has been pretty impressive on DNX, for example. But oh man, the amount of research I'm having to put into figuring that thing out right now. Proof of useful work is going to change the game. I mean, to the point to where I'm thinking about selling all of my Octo miners and just buying servers.
Yeah, I have been doing my research into Dynex this past couple days, and I'm like, man, am I gonna have to just completely redo everything? Because that's where it's heading. Like, right now it's not, but a couple years it's going to be all proof of useful work.
I think it will. That's the next evolution of GPU mining is proof of useful work. We have to admit that now. So if we're looking at that into the future, we have to take into account that completely changes the infrastructure. It just does.
It really does. I think we'll see like Octominer. They'll probably come out with their own case.
They've hinted at it, and iPolo announced theirs too. So
so they're gonna everything's gonna switch that, because so it's like I want to upgrade my stuff right now into cases, but I'm like, well, maybe I shouldn't, because I can't, because I won't be able to do proof of useful work on any of the cases. So
there's a few things on the Octominer I'm figuring out with DNX. It looks like you can change your AES instruction set, and then on the X8 you can go to a 4790 or 4770 and get some more hash out of it. And then you can, on the X12s, you can go to the 7700K or the 7700. In both scenarios, to keep temperatures on the CPU under control, I've had to get the Noctua low profile coolers, and they seem to be the only ones that work, which means that I have one right here. Show the stream. So these right here, these low profile, they're the NLI. They're just 1150 socket bracket. So you take this, and these actually fit on both the Octominer X12 and X8. if you try to run it without this, you'll start spiking those i7s just way too much, right? So I think the 7700K on the stock cooler for the Octo miner was hitting like 96C or some shit. So they start throttling at 94C, and then as soon as they throttle, what happens to your hash rate? It all takes a shit right away.
Yeah, it all goes down.
And then I'm trying to figure out the actual rules to the game, though, because it's not making a whole lot of sense right now. It doesn't appear to be PCI bandwidth. It appears to be all processor capability so far, but I think it'll take some time.
We might see CPU mining really start to take off too if proof of useful work takes off too.
I don't know. Well, CPU mining for proof of useful work?
Well, I don't know. Just because more people are going to have CPUs. And so it's like an option, right? So you can mine non-proof of work, useful work algorithms, but you'll have a powerful CPU that you can also CPU mine if you're not going to use a proof of work.
I think because well, it depends on what happens with the proof of useful work, right?
Yeah, it really depends, right? Yeah,
if we go down the path of the research paper for Flux, then we're looking at all of the PCI lanes getting taken up. Like it's going to just completely bandwidth soak all of the PCI lanes. I think that would still potentially allow you to also still throw the CPU or a few cores of the CPU on there. But then like in the case of Dynex, what we're seeing is the instruction set getting pushed through and pegging the CPU, in which case you're not going to be able to mine on that CPU if it goes that path. It's also going to take some time, I think, for the developers on the miner side, the mining software side, to really figure out how to process all of that data. So I haven't been able to put my finger on it. It's not like, so it's not cut and clear. So for example, right, we did this test last night. I have an X12 with the 7700K in it. I had temperature issues last night. I'm fixing that and we'll test again. But so it wasn't performing at its full 4.2 gigahertz, right? But we could run 4 1660 supers on it and get 1 kilohash, right? If we tried to run 4 3090s on it, it would still just get 1 kilohash. It wasn't like, so it doesn't, that tells me it's probably not a PCI bandwidth issue. That's a CPU issue. Clearly. But anyways,
we'll see GPU prices go down. If proof of useful work comes around, then GPUs are always going to be expensive.
Yeah, because now you've integrated that into AI, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
all of that, and AI is taking off like crazy. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Crypto Mining Show. You can check out the full episode here or more crypto content down here. Also, I'd like you to check out my locals page at sonofatech.locals.com, where you can become a member for free or choose to be a $5 a month supporter that unlocks additional content.